Oh, like this is the easiest one, isn't it? Look, what is e-commerce? E-commerce is the ability to buy something online. Now, if you think about it, you can buy almost anything online these days. So actually, virtually every business you can consider, every business you can think of, will ultimately probably have an e-commerce slant to it somewhere along its journey. But ultimately, e-commerce is where you buy something online and it's delivered to you in one form or another. That could be your shopping, your food shopping. It could be something you've bought from Amazon. It could be a PDF that you've bought online. There's so many variables of what that actually looks like now. But ultimately, e-commerce is where you buy something online and it's delivered to you in one form or another. So there's so many opportunities to put your e-commerce goods on a different platform. And I tend to look at these in a couple of different ways. You've got marketplaces, something like Amazon or eBay. You've got platforms, something like Shopify, that's a pre-made shop, if you like. Or you've got a website, and a website is basically a shop that you've got to design yourself. But ultimately, there's so many different opportunities and so many different forms for you to do. For me, I reverse engineer it. What are you good at? What's the bit that is easy for you? Because if you're really good at getting traffic, you've got a good community and you've got people that you'll be able to drive traffic to, then having your own platform or website is going to be really, really easy. If you're coming it from the other direction and you're more of a brand person or a product person, then you might be better off with somewhere like Amazon, where you can put your product online and Amazon brings you the traffic. Because there's two ways of looking at it. Have you got the traffic or have you got the product? And that way you can meet them together. If you've got both, my suggestion is typically always to work on your own website, whether that be on something like Shopify or a WordPress site, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, something like that. But it ultimately depends on what you are good at, where you want to put your time and effort and the resource and cash you have to invest in making sure it works best for you. But my number one suggestion typically is always to start on a Shopify or somewhere like that and start building the traffic from there. Depends if you like dancing or not, I guess. So, should you open a TikTok shop? Look, I think that, the days of fads are gone. A TikTok shop is a great way to add to your portfolio. Is it a solution? Is it going to solve a problem? No. But what it will do is it's great for getting rid of old inventory, because you're not going to be able to sell high value, high quality products on there. But what it's great for is for showcasing your products, directing them to your website. Or if you're using TikTok Shop, use it as a great way to get rid of old stock by creating an amazing little video that's going to help you to sell your products. But don't see it as a solution, because in my experience, you want to work with things that are going to stick around. You want to work with things that are going to be here forever. You want to build something off of a base. A base is always going to be your website. TikTok Shop is a sales channel that you can utilize. So is Amazon, so is eBay, so is Facebook. They're all channels that come off of the central point of where your website is going to be hosted. So use it as a channel and a distribution channel, but don't use it as your sole business methodology. Product discovery is one of the things that comes down to some very basic formulas. It's SEO of some sort, or GEO in the new AI world. You've really got to think about how you're going to get your products discovered. Product discovery for me can be done in so many different ways. You've got to start thinking about what are the channels or routes to market for getting eyes on your product. And it comes down to some very basics. If we come back to the fundamentals, when I was young, don't know about you, when I was young, there are several ways we consume content. We had a newspaper, right? So we read stuff. So blogs today are still as important as a newspaper was then, right? So you need to be able to have a blog. How can you use blogs to use that as a traffic source to your content? Produces great SEO, AI content can start coming into here. Second thing, what else do we use? We use pictures, right? So we want pictures that are going to enable content to be driven via Pinterest or something similar. Then we've got video format, the TV, right? We don't need 300 or 3,000 channels. We just need 3 or 4. In fact, in some cases, you don't even need 3 or 4. Master one before you move on to the next. Creating video content that's adaptable, both for reels and long form, is going to be crucial. And lastly, we need to make sure that wherever we're putting that information has categorized and indexed behind it. Because by categorizing it, indexing it, we're making sure we're getting the right SEO tags into those products to make sure they're going to be visible. But we need to start thinking about not what's happened in the past and not what's happening now. We need to start thinking about what's going to change in the future. And what we know is going to happen is that products are still going to need to be discovered. Virtually all, if not the majority of stuff going forwards, could be taken from AI content. So we've got to start deciding how our content's going to be consumed to be discovered. So GEO is the new technical term. I'm going to go in that in another video. So go find one of our other videos to discuss that, or go search it up. It's interesting and fascinating to work out how your product's going to be discovered in the future. There's no point me talking about today, what's worked in the past, and what's working today, where today is changing so fast. But ultimately, the core things you're going to need to be able to do is create solid visuals, imagery. You're going to need good blogs. You're going to need good videos, and you're probably going to need some radio channels like a podcast. All of those things are going to help your products get discovered. Whether it be influencers or your own channels, is going to really help you to make that work. So the best ecom platforms across the UK and Europe to use are very simple, all right? Now look, here's the thing. They're always moving, they're always changing. But the key things you need to consider is, where are you currently selling? And what does that sales channel look like when you move to a new market? So here's the thing. Amazon is probably the best well known across the whole of Europe. It's probably the simplest to use and the easiest to use. So if you're going to expand across Europe, Amazon's a great place to start. Problem is that Amazon isn't the leading marketplace in every single of the 28 countries across Europe. So that then gets to the point of, well, how do you maximize those opportunities? How do you make sure that the opportunity you've got is the right opportunity in each country and you're maximizing those opportunities? So the next thing is to step back and go, well, okay, how do I have a strategy that's going to enable expansion into Europe that means it's going to be successful? I have a 4-strike process that we use that underpins every expansion into new countries. And that 4 is very, very simple. You need to be on at least one marketplace. You need to be on at least one website. You need to be on one platform and one other. Now let me give you an example. Here in the UK, we're going to be on Amazon. So you're going to have an Amazon as your marketplace specifically. Then you're going to add your own website. Then you might be on a platform like B&Q. B&Q is a DIY marketplace where you can list your products. It's great if you've got DIY products, as an example. 4th one might be on Buy. And the last one, hold on, 1, 2, 3, could be eBay. Somewhere to get rid of your returns quickly, simply, and easily. But when we start to move overseas, I'd probably stick with Amazon and eBay across the whole of Europe, because then you've got one marketplace and one returns distribution channel to just get things out quickly. The question then comes, how do you use your website in all of those countries to maximize the opportunity? And what's the one other? You know, you've got OnBuy in the UK, you've got Real or Otto in Germany, you've got CD Discount in France, and you've got Bol in the Netherlands. So there's lots of different things you can use in those countries. It's about maximizing the opportunities that are available to you. So Amazon, eBay, your website, and one key other. Probably On Buy in the UK, probably CD Discount in France, probably Bowl in the Netherlands, probably Otto in Germany. They're the key ones that you need to think about when you're expanding overseas.
You've got to keep that in.
You want to go away a bit? Keep recording, keep recording. Yeah. Everyone. I've lost it down the hole.
You have not.
I have.
You haven't.
So it's not my wedding ring, it's all right. Rebecca's going to be astounded that I've finally lost it.
Is it?
No. There's a joke that I can't lose that ring. I've lost it now though, haven't I?
You've got to keep that in.
It's like a fancy dress ring that I've just never been able to bloody lose. And now I keep losing it and I'd find it somewhere. I'm not finding it here, am I?